the House Minority Whip, one of the top Republicans in the Congress, Steve Scalise. Steve, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'll ring the bell sometime later on.
Yeah, we know you can.
You know, what do you make of what is going on our southern border? Because there's this video that we've got that shows a 2-year-old who was abandoned apparently by the cartel or somebody that was bringing him to the United States. It's just heartbreaking to see these images, and it exemplifies that it is a disaster down there. And it doesn't seem like the administration really is taking the same tack that Donald Trump took that stopped the flow of people across.
No, and President Trump had gotten control of our southern border, and he'd actually engaged countries like Mexico, like Honduras and El Salvador and Guatemala to help us get control of the southern border. And what President Biden did is reverse all of those things that were working, and it's now out of control. In fact, the drug cartels have operational control of my major America. So it's a humanitarian crisis, it's a national security crisis, and it was all created by President Biden's policies that aren't working. That's why Kamala Harris didn't want to go to border control, because she would have seen what we've seen. I've been down there, y'all have had crews down there, and it's everybody knows what's going on. The Border Patrol agents all tell you the same thing. Just put back in place those policies that were working that they undid.
But it's not going to happen. In fact, the fact that they're going to defund the Border Patrol, they're proposing in this Democratic committee about $1 billion to cutting out of the Border Patrol. So wait a second, you don't have enough agents, you just totally defanged ICE, and now you're cutting $1 billion out of the budget? Congressman, this isn't a tactic. This is a plan. What is going on here?
Yeah, it's really bizarre. It's their priority. They want open borders. Look, you looked over the weekend, you had the White House trying to blame other people for defunding the police, which is a crazy idea that they embraced. Now they're trying to defund our Border Patrol. When that goes south, they're going to blame somebody else for that, too. They're the ones doing it. And if people are wise stuff, they can blame everybody they want. It proves that their policies are failing. But in the end, they're doing this deliberately. They know the results of it. You can go down to the Donna detention facility and see these places overrun with people here illegally. They don't know what to do with them. They're sending them to states all around the nation, and they won't even be honest with us or the American people about where they're going, which states they're sending them to. I mean, local school systems are going to be getting kids by the hundreds that can't speak English, and they don't care about those consequences because they just want to register everybody to vote. They have an agenda, and they're using these kids, unfortunately, as pieces of their game, and it's a dangerous political game for America.
Congressman, we interviewed Bill Wayburn. He is the sheriff of Tarrant County in Texas earlier in the show. He's going to be with President Trump and Governor Abbott today as they tour the border, or they're going to actually go to an area close to McAllen, which is where Kamala Harris was avoiding. This is what that sheriff said.
The incredible seizures of drugs, the things that we have caught coming across the border, and the things that we've caught in country up in the Tarrant County and Dallas County area, we're having huge loads of drugs that are being seized. So there hasn't been any progress. The border is open, and we're talking about the kids coming across, and we have got a crisis on the border. And that crisis is growing throughout America, and we've got to draw a line in the sand someplace and take care of it.
Congressman, what do you think the reaction will be from Border Patrol and the people who are shaking hands with President Trump and Governor Abbott?
Look, they spoke very highly of President Trump when I was there because he took care of them. He gave them the tools they need. If you meet with our Border Patrol agents, they're wonderful people, but they took this job because they want to get control of the border. They want to push the drug cartels out of America. They see the fentanyl coming across right now in record numbers. And they see, by the way, the trade, the human trafficking that's going on. This is a multi-million-dollar-a-day business for the drug cartels to bring people across illegally because of Biden's policies. And it's incredibly demoralizing for our Border Patrol agents. And they know that President Trump had their back and that Biden doesn't. As you pointed out, he wants to cut them and take away their ability to do their job. So all of this is playing out before everybody's eyes, but to negative consequences for America's national security. You've got people on the terrorist watch list that have been caught coming across the southern border recently, and not just from Central and South America, from Middle Eastern countries and other places around the world.
Yep. Well, the former president is going to be at a Sean Hannity town hall tonight from the border, and Sean himself will be with us in about a half an hour. So we'll be watching for that. Congressman, yesterday you were busy because you're up early today. You were up early yesterday. You had the Republicans want answers. Apparently, the Democrats not as curious as the Republicans. How did this coronavirus pandemic start? Was it a lab leak, or was it some sort of mutation jumping from, animals to man? Here's some of the questions Republicans asked at the hearing where Dr. Fauci was a no-show.
What was the origin of COVID-19? We've asked that question for more than a year and requested that the House majority hold hearings to investigate. Perplexingly, Speaker Pelosi has refused to allow a single hearing, calling it a diversion.
I believe it's time to completely dismiss the wet market as a source of the outbreak. We have a confirmed case 10 days before the wet market cluster. In fact, I would say this is a diversion by the CCP, and all roads point to the lab.
He said, this is the Chernobyl of virus research, and it should underscore the need for increased scrutiny of gain-of-function research anywhere in the world. We must allow for debate and dissenting views to be heard, or we may never get to the root cause of this problem and hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable.
Congressman, 600,000 Americans have died from coronavirus. You would think that this would be a bipartisan issue. Where did this thing start?
Yeah, and it really should be. We've been calling for more than a year to have bipartisan hearings, and Speaker Pelosi refuses to do that. So we held our own hearing, and what you saw, some of my colleagues talking about what they found, and a lot of research has been done. We had 4 medical experts from different areas of science that came who have been researching different aspects of the origins of the COVID-19 virus. Every single one of them testified that this started in the lab. It was a leak from the lab. It was not transmitted to animal to human, which was initially what China, the Chinese Communist Party, the World Health Organization said. It's clear when you look at the gene structure. Also, they've tested over 80,000 animals in China. Not one of them has been determined to have COVID-19. Yet when you look at the gene structure of COVID-19, it looks like it's been around for more than 10 years when it's only been around for maybe a little over a year, which tells you that it was genetically modified in that lab that was doing research on bat coronaviruses. And so when you look at SARS or MARS, very different structure for those occurrences, maybe 5,000 or 7,000 people infected worldwide. With COVID-19, over 200 million infected. America, over 600,000 deaths, 4 million worldwide. Everybody testified that it was created in the lab, and so it raises more questions that need to be answered. What did America know about it? Did the NIH have any financial investment, directly or indirectly, to that lab? Not pointing fingers, but saying, let's get these answers. Yeah. How could this have happened so we can prevent it from happening again? Speaker Pelosi ought to want to join with us in doing it. Instead, she's covering for the Chinese Communist Party. They won't have the hearings. They won't even bring a bill to the floor, a Senate bill that
Yeah. We're having some broadband
that would declassify everything related to the origin. Yeah.
All right. Congressman, we're having a broadband issue right now. Thank you very much for joining us. And to our viewers, we apologize for that.
Yeah.